Hello, and welcome to an episode of Drinking the Kool-Aid. This is a comedy podcast dedicated to the mysterious. My name is Cassidy.
My name's Amanda.
And you're tuning into episode 261
of your favorite comedy mystery podcast.
The most niche comedy mystery. That's right. Never heard of that before? That's because it doesn't exist.
That's because it's niche.
It's because it's niche. You're a weird little freak for being here.
Yes, you are.
And don't we love you for it?
Welcome to the Little Freaky Corner.
The Little Freak Convention. Yes, here we are, episode 261.
Yes.
We're vibing, we're sweating.
We are.
And we're trying our darn hardest.
We are sitting on these like weird ice packs I had in my freezer that are now a little wet. So that's what's happening.
Oh, it's wet. My back is very wet.
Yeah, you guys can't see it, but just know that it's happening.
It's like whatever the opposite of swamp ass is, because it's very cold.
Yeah, it is. Like, it feels good.
Oh, it feels great.
But like, we're going to be all wet.
It feels like when you like jump into a cold pool on a hot day and you're like, ooh, like that's cold and it's shocking, but it's what I needed.
Exactly.
Yeah. We hope you guys are enjoying the new episode of Things Are Getting Weird.
Ooh.
Where we had some wonderful guests from the amazing podcast, And That's Why We Drink. Thank you to Em and Christine for joining us for that. If you haven't listened to it yet, go back and listen to it, you little freaks.
Yeah,
you're gonna like it.
You're not gonna want to miss it. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah, we spent about an hour, a little bit less than an hour, talking about early 2000s internet culture.
Yes.
Which, if you didn't live it, you're going to want to hear about it. And if you lived it, you're going to be feeling very nostalgic about that one.
Yes. And let me tell you guys, things were weird.
Things got weird.
Things were real weird on the
non-derogatory. But yeah, thank you to Em and Christine for being on the show. We just had so much fun. We can't wait to do more stuff with you guys. And make sure you keep an eye on our Things Are Getting Weird feed, because we do have a lot of really fun guests lined up.
Yes.
So make sure you keep an eye out for that. We are having a really good time over there on Things Are Getting Weird.
We are having a good time.
Yeah, we're getting real weird.
We're getting so weird, but it's real fun.
Do you think we're getting weird with it here?
It's weirder over there.
We can only get weirder.
Also, please go to Wine and Crime podcast and check out their most recent Gossip at the Corpse Cart episode.
Oh, yes.
Cassidy was on it. And it's a lot of fun. So please go back and listen to that.
Yeah, that was really fun. I had a great time.
Hear Cassidy doing a bird call.
I'm bringing out bird calls.
You are.
I'm saying inappropriate things. I'm talking about religious trauma. We really covered all of my bases.
One of our listeners DM'd me or DM'd us on the Drinking the Kool-Aid Instagram, and they were like, oh my gosh, I just finished Gossip at the Corpse Cart, and the whole time I was just so nervous because they kept talking about poop, and I know Cassidy's fecal phobic.
I'm very fecal phobic. And sometimes you just gotta hunker down and do the job, okay?
You're a professional.
I'm a professional.
Yeah.
Everybody.
That's why I think I desensitized you, I feel like, because I talk about poop so much.
You talk about it so much.
Yeah. And in return, you now also sometimes talk about it.
I know.
So
it's a weird world we live in.
It's a really weird world.
Things are getting weird, princess. Anyway, sorry.
Can we talk about how I DM'd him to come on our show?
You did not. Did he say no?
He didn't respond or see it.
Oh, it would have been funnier if he left you on red. Sorry, princess. No podcast for you. We do love that guy.
I would love him to come on the show.
He's so funny.
But he has to do that voice the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's no other option.
It would be the most insufferable episode of our show ever, because we would also be doing, just be like, a bunch of whiz.
Things are weird over here.
It's getting weird, princess. Speaking of weird things, I don't know if this is a common thing that people do, but I've been seeing it a lot lately on like my Instagram and like just various sites that I'm on. Women who just gave birth and they've got a full beat of makeup on. Have you seen this?
No.
I'm talking false lashes. They're contoured and they're holding a baby that is brand new, just popped out, 35 seconds old.
They called the glam squad.
Yeah, 35 seconds old. The baby. I just imagine the baby comes out and glams are up.
The baby is the glam squad.
The baby is the glam squad. Like, that's how you just know that you gave birth to a diva.
That's a plot twist.
The baby comes out and just full. Mom, you can't I'm sorry, we can't be taking my birth announcement photos with you looking like that. The baby's just out with mascara, waterproof mascara.
I mean,
full smoky eye.
That would work for me because I'm going to be sweating.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be drenched.
No, it's just the most impressive thing I've ever seen because I know what childbirth is like. I have been at the hospital with people giving birth before. Frankly, nothing will make you not want to have a baby more than being even near an operating room when a baby is born. But yeah, I saw this one woman in particular, and I'm not kidding, her hair perfect, makeup done, nails perfect. I was like,
perfect.
I don't even know. I can spend 4 hours getting ready, and we turn on these ring lights immediately. Hair frizzy, makeup melting off of my face.
Oh yeah, my face is red as fuck.
Red face. And I just saw this picture and I was like, some people are just simply built better than me.
Yeah. Well, we already knew that.
Clearly, yeah.
I mean, I will be the type of person that I'll be like, I just literally pooped out a baby and also probably pooped myself because that's what happens.
Oh, you be pooping.
Yeah, and I'm gonna.
Yeah.
It's like, don't fucking photograph me.
Yeah.
My hair's gonna be wet because I'm gonna have sweat.
So wet.
Like, I'm probably gonna have the little lines of my mascara down on my cheek
because you didn't have time to take it off before you went to the hospital.
Of course not.
Because she held off on going to the hospital.
And I was out at the club.
She was out at the club.
And then my water broke and everyone started slipping around.
Slipping and sliding. You became a hazard.
I did.
They had to increase their insurance payments because of you. They had to put out one of those little signs. It's like slippery when wet.
Yeah, it turned into Final Destination.
Final Destination, water broken at the club. Yeah. What can you do? What can you
trademark that?
Nobody take our idea.
Don't steal that.
That was Amanda's idea.
Yes.
Don't take it.
Everyone's like, I don't want to take that.
Yeah, like
one,
nobody
actually.
wants. That's actually foul. That's disgusting. But yeah, I was just like, wow, this is just like, I am also built different, but by different I mean like incorrectly. And I just saw this woman and she was just so serene. Her lips were lined. I don't know.
Her lips were lined?
Her lips were lined. Girl, when I tell you full beat, I mean a full beat. Like, I'm talking like Kylie Jenner in 2016. You know what I mean? You know the look.
I can't even do a full beat of makeup just on a normal day. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's in my head, but like my husband has also mentioned it. Whenever I get my makeup like professionally done, like if I'm in a wedding or doing something like photo shoot, whatever, I look weird. Like I don't look right.
I always do my own makeup for what I did my own makeup for your wedding.
Yeah.
I always do my own makeup because I feel the same way. I feel like I know how I like to look. And I also don't like the when they make you look totally different.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to look like a different person in these pictures.
And I feel like literally aside from my wedding, which the girl, I asked her to do natural and she did a great job.
Yeah.
Every other time.
Yeah.
I look so, they like make me really pale. Like, I don't know, like even paler than I am, which is crazy.
I think it's probably because you're very pink.
Yeah.
And they like try to take the pink out.
They put like white powder on my face.
Like they're like trying to like even out the pink. So they put on like yellow.
It's so
and
bad.
it like makes you just like more pale,
and then they like cover up all of like any sort of beauty mark or freckle I have on my face.
You should have hired this lady's baby because I'm telling you, she looked great.
Get the baby on the phone.
Get the baby on the phone. It has to be at least like 30 days old at this point.
Get
it in LLC. Let's get this baby to work.
If we're ever doing some like event or a live show, like that baby is going to be our glam.
Yeah. You know, if they're going to like make child labor legal again, I think we might as well get this baby a job.
Baby,
do you want to be? Do you want to come on? Hello, princess.
Hello.
Would you like to come on to podcast? Yeah, it was the craziest thing I ever saw. And then I didn't know it was like a thing. So of course I saw that and then I went down like a rabbit hole. This is like a thing people do where they'll be like, no.
Full beat
for my baby. And I'm like, you know what? More power to you.
I mean,
I'm sure it has horrible implications of the patriarchy woven into this trend.
Do we think that maybe they're like tricking us and they're actually waiting like a couple days?
No, that baby was fresh. It still had like that weird like scrunched face, you know, like when it first comes out.
Was there like liquid on it?
Oh, it was gooey. It was gooey. Yeah, okay, it was still gooey. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. So once again, I'm sure there's like horrible. I mean, I know there's just horrible underpinnings of the patriarchy under this. Where like even in creating life, a woman must be, fully done up. That's how this person felt. But I just want her to know if she did feel that way, it's not her fault. It's the patriarchy's fault, and she did look good. She did a good job at it.
So your baby did a good job.
Your baby worked.
Your baby fucking...
You better work, kid. Literally.
No, people are going to be like, drinking the Kool-Aid is like supporting child labor.
Child labor? Their most controversial opinion yet.
They're going to clip that.
Chat, can you clip that? Listen, I don't know what you guys want me to do. It's a million degrees.
It really is.
I'm curmudgeon-y.
You are.
We were talking about how jealous we are of people who have porches and backyards today.
So jealous. I literally watched this lady this morning. It was like 7:30 in the morning. I'm walking my dog. I look like a gremlin. Like just horrible.
Yeah.
And I watched this lady. She walks out of her house. She's in a fuzzy pink robe. Fuzzy. You know the one.
Love her already.
Drinking a cup of coffee with her mug in hand. Walks out on her porch, sits down on her little chair. I see her start sipping. She looks at me, she smiles, and I'm like, you fucking bitch.
Oh, you know she has a Kindle and she's reading some romance novel she loves.
Fucking whore.
I'm going to burn your house down, actually.
But I smiled and waved.
Yeah.
But I'm fake as hell.
Like a polite fake person that you are.
Exactly.
No, I literally, this week, actually, when Amanda mentioned this story to me, I was like, that's so funny, because I genuinely just 2 days ago was sitting in my living room and I was like, God, all I want to do right now is like go do a cartwheel. But I can't just go do a cartwheel. You understand?
What do you mean you want to do a cartwheel?
Like I wanted to frolic. I wanted to be loose and free with it. You know what I mean?
Can you do a cartwheel?
Yeah, of course. I can do a round off.
Still?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I stopped being able to do that.
But here's the thing. I guess maybe I don't know, because I haven't done a cartwheel in like probably 3 years.
Oh, so you don't even know.
Yeah,
so you're just saying shit.
How am I supposed to even test it? What am I supposed to do? Go to a public park and start doing cartwheels?
No, that's fucking embarrassing.
And get harassed by some strange man? Because I don't know if you know this, they still allow men in parks. Much to my chagrin.
But if you had a backyard.
But if I had a backyard, like you can't be mad at me for being like slightly overweight and like not getting my frolicking in.
You can't do cartwheels.
I don't have access.
What are you supposed to do?
I don't have access to a protected green space. Like even if it was just like a shared space in my like condo building, but like all the places in the condo, but it's all like stucco, you know?
Yeah.
I can't be doing cartwheels on steaming hot stucco.
Yeah, I don't have any grass area either.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I was just sitting there like, oh man, I would love to frolic and be a little loose with it. You know what I mean? We can pretend to be a kid for a minute.
We can ask my neighbor, who is also a listener. Hi, Morgan.
Morgan, can I frolic in your backyard?
Can we just come do some cartwheels in your backyard real quick?
Can we have a cartwheel party? But yeah, I was like sitting there and I had finished everything that I needed to do for work that day. And it was really nice. That was that day where it was like 72. And I was like, I just really want to get out of the house. But getting out of the house either means spending $75 because everything costs money.
100%. And you won't spend less than 75.
Or being somewhere where people come up and talk to you. When you're a woman alone, people just come up and talk to you. You know what I mean? Like when you're just like at a park or like at the beach. People just walk up. I have not been anywhere where people don't just walk up and talk to me.
Well, okay. First of all, you have to understand something.
Yes.
You give off an energy. I don't know what it is about you.
That is the opposite of the energy I'm trying to give off.
I know. I, for some reason, give off bitch energy. I don't know why. When really, I'm like, oh, I would love to have a little conversation with somebody, but nobody wants to talk to me because they're like, ugh, look at this bitch. But they're like, look at this girl having a great day walking around. Let me chat with her.
I'll be sitting there with my headphones in, reading a book because I like to go to this park. Lay out my little blanket. I bring my little either Lunchable or my little. I'm basically an 11-year-old.
Is it the pizza Lunchable?
Oh yeah.
Oh, thank
obviously.
God.
Yeah, the double cheese one.
Those are the best.
Sometimes I'll do pepperoni, but usually I'll do double cheese.
Ugh.
Pizza Lunchable on call,
of course,
or an Uncrustable depending on how the day is going for me.
Yeah.
Headphones in, reading a book, and some person will just walk up and be like, "What are you reading?"
That's crazy.
I'd be like, oh my God. And then I have to I always over exaggerate, like pausing my headphones, looking at them. I'm sorry, what? And then they're like, what are you reading? Is it good? Any good? I'm like, I don't know, because you're interrupting my attempt to read it.
You're like, can't you see I'm literally sitting on a fucking blanket trying to relax?
Yeah.
And read a book? If someone was reading a book with headphones in their ear, there's no fucking way I would interrupt them.
Headphones in. If you ever, let me give advice to anybody out there who might want to flirt with somebody or make a friend. If that person has headphones in, you absolutely should not talk to them. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to be looked at. They don't want to be spoken to. If I don't care if it's the gym, if it's the park, if it's a
Walking
bar.
my dog.
Walking the dog.
People will talk to me when I'm walking the dog.
And I understand, like, and then I feel like a dick because they're just being polite, right?
I get it, but like,
I mean, I guess it's not that polite, but
I mean,
I just need somewhere to frolic, okay? I need to be able to go do a cartwheel and not be disturbed. And I feel like if you're doing a cartwheel in public, you're asking for the attention. You can't be mad if people start getting involved in it.
okay, so you're going to be mentally prepared for that.
That's why I will not do a cartwheel in public.
Oh, got it.
I'm saying, like, I feel like that's why I'm like, man, if people bother me with my headphones in, book out.
Imagine what they would
if
do.
I'm cartwheeling, I'm frolicking, I'm getting the zoomies.
Yeah,
I'm running around in weird patterns.
They're going to try
about.
to join in.
People might try to join me. People might be asking me if I'm mentally well. No, I'm not. That's why I'm getting the zoomies in public, no less.
Yeah, you can't be doing that.
Oh God, I know. I need to find access to some sort of semi-private grassy knoll.
Listen, once again,
This is why I like to go camping. You can go be a little freak in the woods.
Yeah, but you cannot do a cartwheel on the fucking ground.
You can do a cartwheel.
You need grass to do a cartwheel. You need it.
Ideally.
It's essential.
Yeah. There's places that have grass.
Ugh. Listen, once again.
I feel like you can do a cartwheel on a beach too.
Yeah, sand is different than like dirt.
Yeah.
Dirt is like kind of hard sometimes.
No, I know.
You know?
But I'm just saying, like, cartwheel on the beach, that feels appropriate.
Well,
but
now
once
I feel
again,
like-
people are good, because you're opening yourself up to a whole.
You're still in public.
You're becoming a person who does a cartwheel in public.
Right.
Which I think that's saying, please come talk to me. I'm a little strange, but I might tell you a good story.
Yeah.
And yeah, I will. That's true. But I don't want to. I would just want to frolic in peace.
Well, now I want to try to do a cartwheel.
We should probably try to after. We'll have 3 more of these sun cruisers.
Perfect.
Try to do cartwheels.
Let's get real drunk and then try to do cartwheels.
I think it's a good idea. And I'm an advocate for, public spaces. I love parks. I frequent parks.
Yeah.
Love to go to the park. Love to go to the park and read a book. I would like to have access to just the tiniest little space where I could do a couple cartwheels and get the zoomies. And
I bet we can find some like weird, like
unknown area,
private, serene park location. I'll look into it.
Yeah, everybody who lives in the suburbs is screaming at me right now. Like, that's why we don't live in the city. And I'm like, yeah, but then I have to live in the suburbs, and you see the issue there too, right?
Like, just move.
I love Chili's, but I need access to also everything else.
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because that really is all the suburbs has is
Chili's and Red Robin. They love Red Robin in the suburbs.
Yeah, I mean, coming from where I grew up, yes, we loved Red Robin. Those fucking bottomless fry baskets.
I told you, yeah, I went to Red Robin for my Sweet 16.
Love that shit. Red Robin. Yum.
They rebranded. Now they're Red Robin, and they call it like a neighborhood brewery or something like that. They're like they leaned into the beer angle.
I know that they have beers like milkshakes there.
They do. I've had one before.
Is it good?
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it was I think it was had like liquor in it. I don't know. Mine was like a mint chocolate chip thing.
Okay.
So it had like.
I know they were advertising their like beer shakes or whatever.
What's that mint liqueur? You know what I'm thinking of.
Yes.
Yeah. It like had that in there, and it was like chocolate chip, mint
Okay.
chocolate chip or whatever. It was pretty good.
Delicious.
Love a mint chocolate chip.
Me too.
Love it. Know what I
Creme
love?
de menthe.
Yes.
That's the one. Because we had those fucking drinks.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
The grasshoppers.
Grasshoppers. Love a grasshopper. Yeah. It was pretty dang good. I love like a minty thing.
Same.
But the best is Ben and Jerry's. They do a thick mint ice cream instead of like thin mint.
Oh.
And it's mint ice cream. And instead of chocolate chips in there, they do Oreo chunks.
Ooh.
Oreo pieces. Oh my gosh. It's so good because, when you have mint chocolate chip ice cream, the worst part is the chocolate chips are so hard. And when you try to go bite them, they hurt your teeth.
I kind of like that though.
See, I don't like that. Sometimes I'm fine with like when they actually do like the chips of chocolate instead of like the chocolate chips. Does that make, you know what I
Yes,
mean?
I do.
Yeah.
Well, that's
where
what-
it's like flakes of chocolate.
That's what I like.
Oh, okay.
I like the flaky ones.
Yeah, because it used to always be like those mini chocolate chips that were in there. Yeah. Oh, man. Sorry, just thinking about cold foods.
I
I'm
know.
Like, yes.
I know.
It's so hot.
A lovely little ice cream cone would sound really good while
Love
we're
it.
frolicking and possibly doing cartwheels.
If I was in like a backyard with a couple close gals, having an ice cream cone,
Having
having a dilly bar. My favorite dessert ever, a cherry dilly bar. You get it if you're from the Midwest. You know what I mean. My Midwest girls get me here. And watching one of my friends try to do a cartwheel after like 3 glasses of rosé. I think my spirit would leave my body and ascend to the heavens. Or maybe it would be like an angel situation, and I would lose my soul because I actually experienced one true moment of happiness.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could go either way. I don't know.
Yeah. You know, I just realized something.
What?
We can possibly do this during your bachelorette party.
Oh my gosh, that's so true.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so right.
Yeah.
You're so right.
So maybe we'll lose you then.
You know what? If you lose me, you lose me.
C'est la vie.
C'est la vie, c'est la va, c'est la vie. Yeah. I don't remember. I don't know the words. Hana, life goes on.
You did that last week, and I thought you were going to do say you will, say you won't, say you'll do what I don't.
Why do I know that? What is
It's
that?
Bewitched. C'est la vie.
Bewitched. Yeah.
Remember that shit?
I think that's the sample. I'm going the OG.
Oh, got it.
You're doing the sample.
That's me. Always sampling.
Always sampling. Oh man, what a good time.
I do feel like we have to mention, because so many people were DMing me about this.
What?
Fucking Annabelle.
I was gonna ask you about this.
Yeah, like what was that bitch doing?
So she's missing? Is she still missing, or did they find her?
Okay, so allegedly Annabelle, the haunted doll, the very famous one that everyone knows.
Yeah, if you don't know Annabelle, get off this ride.
Yeah,
let me tell you that.
Where have you been? For real. Allegedly she was on like a haunted tour.
Yeah, she was in New Orleans when like a bunch of shit burned down, or she was in Louisiana when a bunch of shit burned down, and all those convicts escaped prison.
Oh,
yeah,
didn't even hear about that.
10 of them broke loose.
Do you think she did it?
Maybe.
We don't know.
One of them's still at large.
We don't
Love the phrase "at large." By the way, I'm trying to be at large.
Well,
in your backyard.
In your backyard, clearly doing.
You better watch out.
Fucking cartwheels. Yeah, no, she was like on like a haunted tour or something, and then people were like, "Oh my god, she's missing. She's just on the loose. She's at large. She was at large.
She was also at large. Yeah.
But then this guy was like, got on TikTok yesterday or something, and was like, Annabelle's been here the whole time. She was not even on a tour, and he like showed her in the case at the Warrens' house. I'm like, what is happening?
A lot of misinformation around the Annabelle doll right now.
Like, Annabelle.
Fake news. why is there fake news surrounding the Annabelle doll? Like that, like we really hit peak humanity at this point.
Like, what are you up to, ho?
What, girl?
What are you doing?
Girl, fill us in. Give us a
Are you really walking around Louisiana?
Give us a sneak peek.
Are you at large or are you not?
Call in. We won't report you.
Get on the pod.
Get on
now.
the pod. Oh,
I wake up tomorrow morning. She's just in here.
Dude, imagine.
No.
Find Helen.
Oh, haunted Helen.
Yeah, Helen's on the East Coast.
You guys could be friends. Damn.
Stephanie's like, don't say that.
She shows up.
Yeah.
I was supposed to find Helen. Here I am.
Can Helen come out and play?
It's a fucking little Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah. God. Oh, what a good time. What a time to be alive.
But hopefully she's safe and sound and she's not at large.
Helen,
I don't know.
Or sorry,
not Helen.
Not Helen. Yes, Helen. Helen's also at large. But
Helen's always at large.
Yeah, we hope nothing but the best for you, Miss Annabelle.
Yes, we love you.
We love you. We support you.
Don't knock on my door, though.
We support women's rights and women's wrongs.
But you can't come do cartwheels with us.
You're into a cartwheel, maybe?
You're invited.
Yeah, let's do it.
You know?
Well, speaking of spooky little bitches.
Yes.
How about we welcome some of our new cool kids?
Let's do that.
Yes. So welcome to Logan F.
Hi, Logan.
Welcome to Corey S.
Hi, Corey.
Welcome to Emma M.
Hello, Emma.
And welcome to John Y.
Hello, John.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for joining the Patreon. We only get to do this podcast because of you, and we really appreciate you. And if you would like to join our Patreon and get exclusive ad-free episodes, exclusive content, we have like over 200 something episodes on there as well that are exclusive to Patreon.
And we're constantly just kind of dropping whatever we want.
Yeah, new weird stuff, vlogs, spilling the Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Yes. We also have the shot of Kool-Aid, which is like an extra banter episode on there every single month. And it's just a really fun time.
It is.
So make sure you'll check that out at patreon.com/drinkingthekool-aid. If you are not in a place right now to join our Patreon, we totally understand. And we still are just happy you're here. But if you could just drop us a 5-star review wherever you listen, that helps us worlds and worlds more than you know. So if you're on Spotify, whether you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or what are the other ones? Podchaser,
anywhere that lets
you, anywhere that lets you hit that 5-star or even leave a review. Hop on there, maybe give us a follow on YouTube and a couple thumbs up. Like I said, it just helps us out a ton. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I also have a belated birthday.
Ooh, drop it on me.
Yes. So this is from our friends. We have now become pretty good friends with them. It was B's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
So happy birthday to B from Chad, obviously.
Yes.
And
one of our favorite couples.
Yes. And they actually sent me a DM when they asked for us to shout out B, and just said like we've been with them since basically the conception of their relationship.
Aww.
So like we're kind of like part of their
I love
relationship.
That. And we've met them before in person at multiple different speaking events around LA, and like they are just such a sweet couple. And
yes.
I love both of them. They're
me
really
too.
sweet.
So happy birthday,
happy
B.
birthday.
We love you guys, and hopefully we see you soon.
Yeah, you guys are the best. I'm sure we'll see you at either Midsummer or Dark Harbor.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I also wanted to say thank you to someone who bought us a beer.
Yes.
So thank you to Jennifer, who bought us a beer and said, "Hi, ladies. Thank you for all of the thrilling, cozy, and mysterious episodes. You've been my company through long study nights, commutes, and much-needed mental breaks. I'm graduating this week as a nurse anesthetist." Ooh, oh, did you hear me say that word right?
That was amazing.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Good job, Cass. And I've sent over a little something for your beer fund. Hope you'll raise a glass with me in the next episode. Cheers from Sweden.
Cheers.
Cheers, Jennifer from Sweden.
And congratulations.
We had another listener.
We did. Lily actually sent us a invitation to their graduation party, which unfortunately is in
Indiana
a state,
or something.
Yeah, that we won't be able to make it. But thank you so much for the invitation, and thank you so much for
the sweet note,
the card and the sweet note you wrote us.
And keep an eye out on your Amazon wish list.
Yes, please.
Maybe we should share their Amazon wish list for our listeners.
Okay.
I fear that we have like lost the plot a little bit. Did you know that people aren't scared of microwaves anymore?
What do you mean?
Like I saw this person who was trying to run their microwave with the door off. And I'm like, you're letting out all the microwaves. It's right. It's like,
oh, I was like, were we ever scared of microwaves?
I mean, that's why it has like that little net over.
Yeah, the protective.
Yeah. To like stop the waves from coming out and like giving you cancer or whatever.
Well, okay, regardless of that, even like obviously that's bad, right? But regardless, would it even work with the door off?
They were like trying to manipulate their microwave to make it work with the door off. And I was like, listen, when this goes poorly for you, you have no one to blame but yourself.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great.
I literally had a nightmare after I saw that video. I had a nightmare that night about someone trying to start a microwave with the door open and me going, no, the waves, they're all going to get out. You have to keep them in.
I remember people were like, don't stand in front of the microwave when it's on because it'll like get into, I don't know, something about getting into your.
Yeah, but that's like what the little screen is for.
Yeah. So without the screen, the waves.
They're all loose. They're all loosey goosey because they're not as micro apparently as you would think.
I wouldn't think that they were that micro.
You wouldn't think.
They fucking heat up my shit so fast.
I was gonna say you wouldn't think about them at all.
I don't even know what they are.
Well, you see, they're waves.
Where they
that are pretty micro.
Well, Cassidy, doesn't sound like you really know that
absolutely
much about
not.
it either.
That's none of my fucking business. That is absolutely none of my business. All I know is you're supposed to keep that goddamn door closed. Stop doing this shit.
Wait, would your microwave even turn on?
But that's what I'm saying. He was trying to like, because there's like a safety button, right? It's like there's like a little latch or whatever to be like, okay, now it can function.
He's like trying to put something in there.
Yeah, he was like trying to finagle it so it would start without the door being closed.
That seems like it's gonna explode.
No, I think it'll just put the waves on you.
Well, maybe it'll put the waves on you and it'll explode and then cause a fire.
I can't have that. It sounds like it could cause a fire or
definitely,
at least the very least cancer.
Sometimes like when I'm leaving the house to go to work, I'll just unplug my microwave and my air fryer just because I'm like, you never know.
I leave most stuff unplugged. Not my microwave, but I do unplug my air fryer. And just because ambient energy gets sucked out.
Yeah. I don't know. You just never.
Yeah.
You
I
just
unplug a
never
lot
know.
of stuff.
You gotta.
I'm a big unplugger.
Same.
I also am just like, I know that that's how fires start.
Well, that's why I do
Like,
it.
all you have is like one faulty
Wire.
little thing, and all of a sudden you're all final destinationed.
Oh, my hairdresser the other day, she was telling me that she went to the LA fair. This, I guess it was like this past month or whatever. And they were at the petting zoo, like looking at all like little goats or whatever. And then there was like little baby goats in a separate area somewhere. So they were looking at this baby goat and they're like, oh, look at the baby goat. He's chewing, like literally a day old too.
Okay.
Like a baby.
Fresh out. It should be doing makeup somewhere.
Exactly. Should be doing glam.
But instead getting pet by strangers.
Well, it wasn't allowed to be pet because it was a
'cause it was
baby.
so new.
But they were like, oh, look, the baby goat's chewing on like a rope. And then my hairdresser was like, that's not a rope. That's a fucking wire.
Oh my gosh.
It was somehow a wire that was like being used to work the lights in the area.
Yeah.
Was in the little baby's pen.
Well, goats are notorious for that. Goats will like eat anything.
Yeah. So she had to go tell like one of the employees like, hey,
Hello.
that baby goat is eating a wire right now. And the attendant was like, oh shit.
Oh, our bad.
Yeah. Like maybe you should be
Sorry.
fucking watching the baby goat that's
Yeah.
literally a day old
Oh, my Lanta.
and not have a live wire in the pen.
Yeah, for real. Oh my God.
I was like, good thing you fucking saw that.
Yeah,
That's
seriously.
crazy.
Well, they're clearly paying really good attention to those goats there. Well, on that note, should we get started?
Let's get started.
Let's do it.
Woohoo. All right, I'm ready. I'm excited.
Okay. So let's today talk about the Chevy Chase Bandit.
Okay.
Yeah. So I heard about this for the first time on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries.
Sweet.
I read an article in Angelus News by R.W. Dellinger. I was on the Unsolved wiki page, ranker.com, and also Wikipedia.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Is this actually Chevy Chase?
No. So we'll get there. All right. So we're in the 80s. It's 1987.
Perfect.
November 3rd, Los Angeles County, Beverly Hills.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. I'm there.
So a man is walking down Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills. And it's about 12:45, and he enters a bank on Wilshire Boulevard wearing sunglasses, a nicely tailored suit, a dark pair. I put sunglasses on here twice. A dark pair of sunglasses on top of his second sunglasses.
Whoa.
And he's holding a briefcase.
Okay.
He walks into the bank and immediately trips and falls down.
No.
And eats shit like super hard. Like his briefcase like kind of like slides away from him even.
You're telling me this motherfucker doubled up on his sunglasses. That's what I'm picturing. 2 pairs doubled up.
He was only wearing one, for the record. I'm not trying to spread misinformation here like
I know.
Annabelle.
No, not the Annabelle. I'm imagining him falling. Maybe his sunglasses even pop off at one point.
The sunglasses stay on.
They stay on.
Firmly.
Okay.
Thank God. But they are a little ajar. I'm not going to lie. In the pictures, they're a little ajar. He trips and falls immediately. Like, you know when you go into a bank, they have like those really thick like mats?
Yes.
Like right when you walk in.
Oh,
he
I
like
tripped
just
over them.
over it and ate shit super hard. Briefcase goes flying.
Doesn't pop open though.
Doesn't pop open.
Okay.
And he has to kind of like scoot across the
No.
floor on his knees to like pick up the briefcase. And then he gets up and he approaches the teller.
I imagine the teller's like just watching him like, what the?
Oh,
sir.
In interviews with the tellers on Unsolved Mysteries, literally they're all like, yeah, he fell down like super hard. So everybody like skirt, you like turn and look.
So if you were trying to appear
Inconspicuous.
under the radar,
Yeah.
you did not.
And also like, sorry, for me personally, if that happened to me and
I would turn around and walk away.
Yeah, and I was just trying to do regular ass banking. Like I was just trying to like pull out, $50 to go to a concert or something. I would leave. I'd
Yeah.
be like, I don't need to see that concert that bad.
Yeah.
I would totally leave.
Go to a different bank.
But instead, this guy goes up to a bank teller and hands them a note that says this: relax, no alarms. I have a gun and a bomb. I just feel like, okay, sorry.
I wouldn't
pause.
take him seriously.
I could never take somebody seriously.
No.
And also I'm like, I know you don't have a bomb. You just fell down so hard you would have blown up. you would have blown up.
And your briefcase went flying. Sure. That shit would have exploded.
Yeah, there's no fucking way that I would laugh in this man's face.
You pull a gun out, you're dropping it on the floor.
Absolutely.
You are clumsy.
Imagine if he did have a gun and it just scattered around on the floor. Like what a Looney Tunes ass situation this is. Give me big bills, top and bottom drawer only. Happy, no tricks. I have a partner.
Wait, this is his letter.
This is his letter, and that's how it ends. I have a partner. Okay, brag. You're not single. Whatever. No, just kidding.
Happy.
So the teller apparently was like looking at this like confusedly, I would assume.
Well, after the whole falling incident.
Yeah, like she just saw him fall down.
Yeah, and scoot
like
across
pretty
the
hard
floor.
and scoot. Oh, like I have the ick.
No, yeah, gross.
That's like that would make you probably
stand up and go walk and get your briefcase.
And adjust your tie.
Dust yourself off.
Fix your glasses. They're askew. They are askew as we're speaking. And apparently she's taking too long to read this note because also it was like written in really like hastily, it looks like. And so she's kind of looking at it like, what am I looking at here? Happy? No tricks?
She's not scared. That's for sure.
The least intimidating person in the world. And so apparently because she's taking too long, he like leans over and is like, hey, I have a gun. Once again, I wouldn't believe you. You just fell and dropped everything you owned. I just know you don't have a gun. Maybe you do. I don't know. But if you did have a gun, I wouldn't trust you to use it correctly. Okay. So the bank teller does what he says, gives him stacks of tens from her drawer, and he places them into the briefcase, closes it, thanks her, and walks away. When the cops are called in and, they count the cash or whatever, he got about $700.
All that. You embarrassed yourself.
Fell on the floor.
For $700?
For $700. You barely have to send a 1099 for that.
Maybe it's like, hey, I can get myself a new pair of sunglasses.
Yeah. My other ones are now bent and askew.
And they have a little crack down the center.
Yeah. So frankly, a little askew. So, okay, apparently in today's money, that's like $3,000.
Okay.
Which is like, more substantial. Like you could almost pay 2 months rent with that.
I was going to say, not even, but.
Love being alive. Okay. So the cops watched the CCTV footage of the robbery, and obviously they cannot look away. They're astounded by
laughing?
the way that this man falls on his face.
Do you have the footage?
I do not have the footage.
Damn.
I wish. But you cannot look away from this man falling, right? Like they are rewatching it. I can just imagine they're roasting this man to shreds.
This is like Jeff Bezos falling down.
Absolutely.
Trying to look inside the rocket.
Like, pack it up, bro. You just got to go home after that. You just got to go home. You know when people are like, you're only embarrassed. It's when you see someone fall down, do you think about it? Yes, I think about it for days.
Yes.
I immediately tell everyone I know. That's why when I fall down in public or do something embarrassing, I know people are talking about it because that's what I do.
Well, when you fell down, I think you talked about it for 6 months.
Oh, I could not stop talking.
No. You even told it on the podcast.
Absolutely. And other people also like that were there talked to me about it. So like they're absolutely thinking about it. They're telling that story to everyone they know. You just have to accept that, like as a person. So I'm sure this is in my mind that they're just roasting this man to shreds because he fell down so hard
and then robbed the bank
for $700.
Crazy.
And this is the 1980s, so this is like they're just saying things that like simply would not fly today. Like he was getting pre-woke roasted, so it was just bad. Like 87 or whatever. They were saying words we don't even remember in the lexicon today.
100%.
I guarantee you. But so that's why he ended up getting the nickname of the Chevy Chase Bandit, because they thought the fall was so funny, it resembled something that Chevy Chase would do on the popular late night television show Saturday Night Live.
Yes.
Because he would often do like a trick fall and go like, live from New York, it's Saturday night. Mm-hmm. And so they start like, speaking of pre-woke Chevy Chase. But
can't lie though, he was kind of hot back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah. The evil ones usually are.
So yeah, you're right.
But yeah, so they started calling him around the precinct the Chevy Chase Bandit. So they release a profile of him and a picture of him, which I'll show you a picture of him.
Is he kind of hot?
He's not ugly.
Okay.
His glasses are askew.
Oh,
after post fall.
Sir, fix your glasses. fix them now. Also, what is his hair doing?
It's a deep comb over.
What is happening?
And it's so weird. We'll talk about this in a minute, but like he looks like he's balding, but he's not.
That's
balding.
what I was wondering.
Yeah, he's not balding. That's the weirdest part.
You know who I feel like could play him in a movie?
Who?
George Clooney.
Yeah, he's got kind of that vibe.
Yeah.
So the police released that photo of him. This will be on the Instagram and on YouTube. And they say he's a man who seems to be in his mid to late 30s. He has dark hair.
30s? Oh, he looked older.
He's around 5'7", around 140 pounds. Girl, it's the 80s. You've seen 30-year-olds from the 80s.
But you're right.
It's fucking crazy.
And I was going to say, I thought that guy was 50.
They said late 30s. Around 5'7", around 140 pounds. Svelte king. But despite possibly linking him to 2 other LA area bank robberies where he did not fall down, so those ones were less interesting.
Did he get more money?
Yeah, but like each time he was kind of smart because he didn't take like large sums. He would just take like whatever's in your drawer, right? So he's not like making a big hubbub about it.
Like go down to the thing and bring up sacks of money.
Or like I'll take all the money that you have and then that's how you end up with like an ink packet or those like tracer bills or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they possibly link him to at least 2 other LA bank robberies, but the trail goes cold.
Ooh.
So almost a year to the day of the robbery on November 2nd, so the robbery had been on November 3rd, 1987, but on November 2nd, 1988, Unsolved Mysteries airs a special episode where they cover 3 different unsolved bank robberies, and the first one was of the Chevy Chase Bandit.
Okay, so no one knew who he was.
No. And that was kind of like their thing is they gave them all like these little nicknames so that people would remember the cases, right?
So was Unsolved Mysteries, like at the time when it was airing, it would do cases kind of like America's Most Wanted, it felt like.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they were, think about it, they were releasing so many more episodes. Like now they release like 6 episodes at a time or whatever on Netflix.
Yeah.
But even then they still, they cover more recent cases on.
Yeah. So I'm sure, because I know that Unsolved Mysteries has helped solve cases before.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a combination of like alien shit, ghost shit, and
True
actual crimes that they're trying to solve. Yeah. So this episode releases Chevy Chase Bandit, nothing, no calls, no leads. And the cops are just kind of like, okay, well, this is probably never going to be solved, but at least that was the most hilarious thing we ever got to see because what an idiot.
They're like, at least he only got $700.
Yeah. So then another year later, on November 1st, 1989, the episode is re-aired on TV and bingo. This time, within just minutes of the segment airing, the line at the Unsolved Mysteries starts lighting up. So the caller is a woman, and on the line, she claims that Chevy Chase Bandit is someone that she knows, specifically a man that's involved in her therapy group in LA. Okay, so this part seems a little fucked up to me personally because I'm like, I'm like 90% sure this is like an AA group, and like, isn't that the whole point? Is like you're not supposed to like air people out?
Yeah, but yes, but then if they're like committing crimes, does that like?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think AA is kind of bullshit, but like, I just think like, isn't that the whole point? Is like people are supposed to go there and like be able to be like, I ran over my kid because I was drunk, and like you're supposed to like, it's anonymous. Like you're not supposed to be able to tell on them.
Yeah,
and I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Obviously, it's not like confidentiality, like priests or whatever, but it just seems a little fucked up.
Because I was gonna say, like, if it would, you know how therapists are like, oh, it's confidential unless you like are gonna kill someone, whatever. But this person just goes to the meeting, so they don't really care.
And I think even if like,
and also people love to get involved. I think
even if you like already committed the crime and you tell your therapist, they're not allowed to testify against you or tell anyone.
Oh.
They have to be like stopping a future crime.
Oh, okay,
I think
maybe.
I don't know for sure. Obviously, I'm not a fucking therapist. But it just felt a little fucked up. Like I'm like, isn't that the whole point of like AA or NA? Like whatever.
But bitches love to fucking stick their nose in places where it doesn't belong.
That's why I was like, okay, narc. Like, I get it. Whatever. But
no, she wants to be the one. Like, I caught him.
Yeah.
Like, you know? And this is LA.
But
everyone wants to fucking.
I was gonna say, ironically, I think she decided to stay anonymous when she did the call.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like, oh, you get your anonymity, but like, okay, whatever. I don't know. Once again, this is a moral quandary. This is not my place of expertise. I did used to have a joke that I liked to tell. Sorry, quick aside, that I liked to tell where I was like, oh, a good first date option is to go to a Catholic church and admit to murder to the priest. So for the rest of his life, he has to sit wondering if he should go to the police or not. But he never did the murder. That's the fun part. Okay. Get it? Okay.
Oh, that is fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it would just be like me and me being like, yeah. So like the other day I was like driving down the street and I just like totally ran over this old lady. Just left her there and now she's dead and everyone's blaming my neighbor because really he's a drunk, but it was really me and I was looking at my phone.
But you really didn't do anything.
But I really didn't do anything. The lady's perfectly alive, I'm sure.
But you just wanted to tell a lie to the priest.
I just wanted to lie and like it's his job to keep it a secret. Okay. I never did that for the record. It's just a concept. Okay. This is a comedy podcast. Anyway, okay. So she claims to recognize the robber as 42-year-old Bernard Sabbath Strick, or as everyone knew him, Buddy.
Buddy.
Yeah.
Good old Buddy.
Not that good.
Not good.
Yeah, Buddy, this is where it gets a little dark for Buddy.
Okay, Buddy.
So according to records, Buddy was a criminal attorney turned criminal, attorney, if you know what I mean. And he began practicing in 1972, but then in 1976, only 4 years after he started his practice, he developed a very severe drug addiction. Due to this, he started missing court dates, neglecting clients, and just overall not doing his job. And complaints started pouring into the California State Bar Association that he was no longer fit to provide adequate counsel to defendants. And the reason that this is an issue, of course, on top of just everybody deserves adequate counsel, is if people are convicted, they can get their conviction overturned if their counsel was deemed unfit.
Okay.
Yeah. After a year-long investigation by the bar in 1978, the bar moved his status to inactive and he lost his ability to practice. So he wasn't completely removed, but they basically were like, if you don't get your shit together, dude, like you cannot continue to practice law in the state of California.
Well, once I see that video of him falling down at the bank,
there's literally no recovering from that. Like, frankly,
they would be like, you know what? We wouldn't even have fired you.
Yeah.
For robbing a bank. But that fall?
You can't.
You gotta
can't come
go
back from that. Yeah. So this is 10 years before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So later that same year, he was actually convicted of forgery. And I don't know if that was associated with him trying to get his license active again, but that would make sense to me. Or maybe some sort of check fraud or something, since clearly he was having money issues, unable to work. And obviously, when you're abusing substances, that becomes expensive. So after his forgery conviction, he began to spiral even more. He couldn't afford to live in his apartment, and he had a young woman move in with him. Her name was Vicky Lehman. And okay, this is where things get a little heavy.
Okay.
All jokes aside, right?
Okay.
So I'm not sure of Vicky's age here. I'm going to assume that she was younger because her boyfriend, Peter Verge, was 18 and his family knew her too.
So she's probably 18, 19.
Yes, that's my guess. I don't know for sure. She could have been a little older, but at this point she's like crashing at his place and like has a mattress in the living room that she stays on and he stays in the bedroom. She also, I think, was using alcohol regularly. I'm not 100% sure.
I was going to say, why?
That's what it seemed like.
Would she be staying with him?
Yeah, I don't know this. I really tried really hard to find the circumstances of like why she was staying with him, whether it was necessity, some issues with her family. But she was dating Peter Verge, who lived in Santa Monica, about a mile away from where Vicky and Buddy were living.
Okay. Yeah, that's so interesting because you would just think like, why wouldn't Peter and his family just take her in?
Yeah, and the only reason I even know that his family knew about her is because Peter had a younger sister, Suzanne, who was like 13 or 14 at this time, and she said that she knew who Vicky was, and like that was Peter's girlfriend.
Okay.
So one night, Vicky is out. I think it's December 3rd of 1978. She's out with her boyfriend, Peter Verge, and they go back to Strick's house where Vicky is staying. They put a pizza in the oven, fool around a little bit, I'm guessing because he is undressed in the future of this story.
An ideal evening.
Yeah, and then fall asleep on the mattress that she had in the living room. When Strick returned home around 4, like in between 4 and 5 a.m., he was pissed off to see Verge there asleep with Lehman. Why? I'm not 100% sure, but he became enraged. He also was intoxicated at this point by drugs and alcohol, and he ordered Verge out of the house. He said, you need to get the fuck out of here, like immediately.
Okay.
So Peter obviously says, I'm not going I need to put my clothes on. Like, let me find my clothes first and like get dressed. And then, yes, I'll leave. But Strick was not having it and ends up shooting the teenager who dies. And in a drug-induced panic, Strick puts Peter's body out in the hallway and calls the police, claiming that he had just shot somebody who tried to break into his home.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So forensics, and I'm assuming probably also Vicky's testimony. Once again, I tried to find the court records for this, but like literally nothing would come up. It was so frustrating. Refuted this story, and Bernard Strick is convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 6 years in prison.
Shit.
Yeah.
This took a turn.
So he ends up only serving 3 of those because he's for good behavior or whatever, and he's released in 1983.
3 years for killing someone.
An 18-year-old kid, yeah. He clearly, I mean, here's the thing.
He clearly is committing crimes.
Yes, and he clearly has a horrible substance abuse issue. And it's like, okay, putting someone in prison is not going to cure their substance abuse issues. Like at this point, like if you don't want to put someone away for life because they're like fucked up on drugs and do a horrible thing, at least like give them proper help and care to make sure that they are no longer a threat to people when they get out. Because most people who get out of jail, who get clean in jail, when they get out, they just like return to their old ways.
Yeah.
Because their brain is the problem thing that needs help. You know what I mean? And prison just makes it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he gets released in 1983. And then the California State Bar actually starts to work to disbar him completely, to strip him of his...
Well, that's probably for the best, I would say, yeah.
And so that ends up going through in 1987. And because of the conviction, he is completely disbarred. He is not allowed to practice law anymore.
Good.
It's only 4 months after he is officially disbarred that he begins the Chevy Chase robberies. So clearly, I think he was like at his wit's end.
He needed to make money.
Was still using drugs and was, you know, making risky, illegal decisions. And on April 26th, 1989, he was arrested in Marina del Rey, California. And I think it was like 2 years later, he like obviously is in jail at this point, but like 2 years later after a trial, he is convicted of 6 bank robberies in total. And he gets sentenced to 4.5 years in prison.
Once again, easy peasy for this guy.
Yeah.
3 years for murder, and then 4 years for robbing some banks.
Isn't it crazy that he spent more time in jail for robbing banks than he did for murder?
Yeah.
Let that just show you what our judicial system, what they're more worried about. They're more worried about that $700 than they are about the life of an 18-year-old kid.
Wild.
And then he just kind of lived like a floating life around California until he died on December 27th, 2012 at the age of 66.
66?
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, I mean, he was a drug addict and an alcoholic. He's
That's
probably
true,
not going to live to 90.
Yeah.
But so here's his mugshot. This is what I'm saying. Like, he had a full head of hair.
That is Ross from Friends.
Oh, very much.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, very much. Yeah.
What a fucking ass. Like, bro, if you were just robbing some banks and being like a silly little goofy guy about it, and like falling down and whatever,
and falling down, you could just stuck to that.
Like,
well, that was after, but
no, I know. I'm saying like if that's all he was doing, if that's all he did, I'd be like, you know what? You're just a silly goofy guy.
Oh, I know. He could have been just like a funny little icon.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh, it turns out that like when you're struggling with addiction, clearly has drug issues, which probably stem from having mental issues to begin with. Like most people who abuse drugs and alcohol, it's because they are trying to self-medicate, right?
Yeah.
And he ends up taking the life of this kid who was just wrong place, wrong time, like totally not his fault.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's just so sad.
That is really sad.
Yeah. Do know that Suzanne Verge, who is Peter's younger sister, she actually does work with anti-gun legislation now.
Oh, nice.
She actually didn't for a really long time. And then in 2000, she did the Million Mom March, which is all about trying to regulate gun ownership and stop the dissolution or the dissolving of gun legislation in our country. And so now she is a big advocate for gun control laws and stuff like that. Yeah. And she works with kids who have experienced gun violence or have been a part of like school shootings and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she said like, oh, it was actually like one of the first times I've like been able to feel good and feel not alone since this happened to my brother, like when I was literally 13.
Yeah, I was going to say like the most like formative age of her life.
Literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, when it's your older brother, like you just look up to them and you love them so much.
Yeah,
you know,
you didn't
like,
even do anything to deserve that.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is the bizarre story of the Chevy Chase Bandit, which goes from like a Looney Tune ass fucking funny story to like they arrest him. I'm like, damn it, I almost wish we didn't know that part.
I know, because I'm like,
fuck.
You literally could have been just like a fucking icon.
Yeah. So yeah, that is the story of the Chevy Chase Bandit and the, like I said, just bizarre backstory of that man.
Well, that was a wild ride.
Wild ride. I know, right? Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was really hoping I could just...
I know. We could just lean into it, just being
lean in the jokes.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was, once again,
a little bit of laughter.
I was just in too deep by the time the horrifying reveal came. I was like, God dang.
Well, R.I.P. to not him.
Peter Verge.
To Peter Verge.
Yes.
Wild ride you took me on.
Oh my God, and we're back.
We're back.
Dude, so we just took a little bathroom break and I stood up for the first time since I put this ice pack on my back. And I'm in my body is in a really weird place right now because 90% of me is so hot I'm sweating, right? And then my back, where the ice pack is specifically, is so numb you could like steal my kidneys in a motel. You know what I mean?
Can I?
You know, like when you have like a bad night in like Mexico or whatever, and you wake up in a motel in a bucket of ice or in like a tub full of ice.
I can picture it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you could commit surgery on me, complete surgery on me, do surgery on me. I don't know what the proper term is.
I went to the bathroom as well, and my ass cheeks are just so fucking cold.
Yeah, frozen.
So you could fucking...
I'm wearing it's like a skort.
It is a skort, yeah.
Yeah, it's like all I wear now is just like weird active wear because it's so hot. I just don't want to be sticking to anything. And so I can't sit on mine. So I have it like on my lower back.
Oh, because if you sit on it, it's going to be your skin.
Yeah, it'll be my skin.
Yeah.
And that's too cold. We can't be living that way.
Well, then you're just going to have some icy cheeks.
You have icy cheeks. I don't.
I do have icy cheeks.
I got an icy lower back.
You can...
Which is way less interesting.
Eat your ice cream off my butt and it'll stay cold.
Cool. Cool story, Amanda.
Don't do that though.
Sounds messy.
Yeah, and I don't like that messy.
We're enjoying our little sun cruisers here.
We are.
These are the drink of the summer, in my opinion. This is not an ad.
This is the drink of the summer.
Oh my gosh, did I just invent the song of the summer? Sorry. Well, hopefully you have a story with a happier ending than mine. Oh no! Oh, I don't.
Mine
like that
is
look.
also a wild ride. I would say, but it is from much longer ago.
Okay,
so it makes it a little better. I think.
I mean, the 70s, dude. That's like 50 years ago.
Try the 1500s.
Oh, but yeah, you really did mean. Ew, you did something from the 1500s.
I know. Ew, who am I?
Who are you?
I'm disgusting.
I don't even know you.
Well, just wait. This is quite a wild.
Okay, lay it on me, girl. I'm ready.
Go on. So
I'm locked and loaded.
Please be. So we're gonna talk about Mariana de Leyva y Marino, aka the Nun of Monza.
Okay.
So my sources were mozartcultures.com, an article in Italy Magazine by Pat Eggleton, Storia di Milano by Paolo Calusi, lettersstories.com by Giorgio Barussi, beyondmonza.blogsport.com, and Wikipedia. And yes, if you were wondering, I did have to translate at least 3 of those websites to English.
That should be fun. That's always a good time.
Yeah, because they are in Italian. All right. So Mariana de Leyva y Marino was born on December 4th, 1575.
Gross.
That is so long ago.
Ago.
I mean, I know I've probably said it before, but I'm going to say it again. The fact that we even have information on people back then is wild to me.
Yeah.
Like I know people wrote. I know they had like
Oh,
I know they were able to read and write somehow. Maybe. They smelled bad, so they didn't really know how to fucking shower, but they can read and write.
I think they just didn't have access to running water.
Or that.
I don't think showers existed. It was just a weird bath.
That you had to like fill up for 3 days.
Yeah, like once every 4 months, you get like one weird bath.
Yeah. So she's born in Milan, Italy. And she was born into like a pretty noble family. Her father, Martino de Leyva, he had come from a very prestigious family, and he actually inherited the county of Monza.
Oh.
So he was like the Earl of Monza.
Yeah,
or
he was
whatever.
owning that shit.
Yeah.
Landowner.
Exactly. And then her mother, Virginia Maria Marino, she was actually the widow of the Count of Sassuolo. And she was also the daughter of the richest man in Milan, Tommaso Marino, who also just happened to be a banker. So
Synchronicity.
That's right. So when Mariana is a few months old, her mother unfortunately dies from the plague. It's the 1500s.
They'd be doing that back then.
And after her death, the family finds out that she had left her inheritance, like literally all of her money, basically, half to Mariana and half to her son from her previous marriage, Marco Pio. But the problem was that Virginia and her late husband, the Count, they also had 4 daughters together. And for some reason, Virginia didn't leave any money.
She was like, fuck them kids.
To those 4 girls.
Maybe they sucked.
They might have.
I feel like they might have.
They might have.
Yeah.
Because like, why would you not leave them anything? That's crazy.
I think it's hilarious when parents do that.
That's wild.
It's super evil, but like, what do you care? You're dead.
You're dead. And like, obviously she's trying to tell you something.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking hated you
like,
guys.
send the message, man. That's
Y'all
hilarious.
were fucking cunts.
Yeah, you guys were not nice to me.
Yeah. So she literally only left it to Marco and Mariana to literally split in half. So these 4 girls were fucking pissed. They're like, what the hell? Absolutely not. We are getting some of that money. Virginia's husband, who is also Mariana's dad, Martin, he was also only given a ring and money for Mariana's future dowry.
Interesting. Okay, this isn't like a situation like today where if you die, your spouse gets everything, and then when the spouse dies, okay.
And I don't know if it was because they both individually had a lot of wealth, maybe. I don't know.
Did they have just like the 1500s equivalent of a prenup? Like, we keep our wealth separate.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe because they were both noble in their own right. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Listen, don't ask me anything about the fucking 1500s, okay? But yeah, so she gave Mariana's dad literally only money for Mariana's future dowry because obviously, as we all know, girls back then in the 16th and 17th century, they were usually wed at a very young age, and they had to pay a dowry to the groom's parents. So he's like, are you fucking kidding me? This is all I'm getting. So the 4 girls, they're pissed. Mariana's dad, he's pissed. So they end up kind of getting into this huge legal battle between all of them and the brother, and then poor little infant Mariana is just getting screwed in this matter because she's a fucking baby.
Yeah.
And she can't do anything about this.
Imagine having beef with a baby.
Yeah, they're like, you fucking baby.
You could just kill a baby so easy too.
You could, but that's their sister.
Well, they clearly don't. They don't
Yeah,
give a
they
shit.
don't like her
They're
very
suing
much,
this
do they?
baby. I'm just saying, you're suing a baby.
Yeah.
I feel like you're one step away from smothering a baby. That's what it feels like.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
But in the end, I believe it was settled that everyone ended up kind of getting a share of this inheritance. But of course, Mariana, who is a literal baby, she can't spend any of this money. So after the money was distributed, it was given to Martin and Mariana like together. They got like a share of it together.
Okay.
So Martin basically just like took it all
Yeah.
because she's a fucking baby.
It's like a child star situation.
Yeah. And then pretty much right after this, he's like, I just can't be a dad by myself, and I don't want to, frankly. So I'm going to give this baby up, my baby.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So he gives Mariana to one of
They
her...
have so much beef with this baby. It's crazy.
Everyone hates the baby.
Damn.
And
Imagine.
and that baby could do glam for you.
You don't even know. You didn't
You
even
have
give her the
no
opportunity
idea.
to glam you up. She could have made you fucking so cunt, and instead you're just beefing with this baby.
Yeah. Instead of you're a cunt.
Yeah, literally.
So Mariana goes and lives with one of her aunts, and he just fucking dips out. He's like, gotta go.
Jeez Louise.
But when Mariana turns 13, which is around the age when these noble women would start to be wed off, the ripe old age of 13, her father, Martin, he pops his ass back up and he's like, Mariana, my little girl, how is it going?
My beautiful baby girl who I've never beefed with once.
Who I haven't seen in like 12 years.
Girl, how you been? Let's catch up.
How you doing, babe?
I've been really busy. God almighty.
And he's like, you're fucking coming with me. Let's go.
God almighty.
And he brings Mariana to a convent because if she becomes a nun and lives in the convent, she can't get married and he won't have to pay a dowry and he can keep the money and the ring that he fucking got from the inheritance from Virginia.
This dude has thought of it all.
What
let me
a
tell
fucking
you.
sneaky little snake.
Oh, this guy sucks. Ladies, this is why we tell you, be careful who you procreate with.
Like, Jesus.
Because you might have a grown man beefing with your baby.
Literally.
Okay? I'm just
with
saying.
his own baby.
Literally.
So Mariana, she gets taken to the monastery Saint Marguerite in Monza, and she takes the name Sister Virginia Maria after her mother.
Okay.
I am going to still call her Mariana just because things will get too confusing.
Yeah.
But now Martin, he promises Mariana, like after he's like, okay, you're going to be a nun and you're going to live in this convent. But he promises her at least some of the inheritance money. But of course, you know, he's a piece of shit and he basically disappears from her life forever and never sees her again and doesn't give her any money.
Honestly, they should have nunneries for people who just like don't want to get married.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, hey, we're just chill. Like it's really the thing. The problem with
a lot of people sometimes will just become a nun
yeah,
because
the
they don't
problem
want
is then
to.
you got to do all that god shit.
Yeah.
And you got to like eat porridge and whatever. Like, if you have like a poke bowl station, like, yeah.
How do you know that nuns don't have that right now?
I think they have to live piously. Like that's their whole thing.
Oh yeah, and they can't wear makeup and stuff.
Can't wear makeup. They got to wear the hats. I'm just saying, like, let's say like my, God forbid, knock on wood, like my fiance died, right? We're married, he dies. I'm not trying to ever talk to another man again for the rest of my life.
You just want to live secluded
with a bunch of other chicks and maybe a poke bar.
Maybe like a
I'm just saying, where's that option for me?
maybe like a mall food court can be in your little area.
As long as you I just don't want to eat porridge. And I'll even spend time volunteering with like, you know, children or whatever you need. You know what I mean? Like goats with only 3 legs. I don't know what nuns do, but like I will do that if it means that I can just live with a bunch of other cool chicks and never have to talk to a man again.
I think that could be arranged.
Yeah, I just feel like I wish that option existed for women. We can create
that.
it. So get on my GoFundMe. It's gofundme.com/
I am not a scammer.com.
I'm not a scammer.com / pokebowls for nuns / nuns atheist nuns /
none your business.
None of your business. That's good. That's going to be the name of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's going to be the name of the convent. You still get to live in like a spooky place that's mostly stone though.
Yeah, it has to be haunted.
Yeah, or like old wood. Sorry. You can take the god out of nuns, but you can't take the old spooky buildings out of nuns.
No, absolutely not.
You gotta, if you're gonna be an unmarried older woman, you gotta live in some sort of spooky housing. That's mandatory.
A lot of cats too. Mandatory.
Oh, loose cats.
Mandatory.
Nobody knows whose cats. It's crazy.
I want to live there.
Pokeballs for all.
Okay, so this place was obviously not like that.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Mariana, she dives full into the nun life and she gets very into it. So she was described as being obedient and respectful and was very modest, which made her a great example to the other young ladies that were coming into the monastery. So she is just fucking so good at nunning it up. that as she gets older, she ends up becoming a teacher for the younger girls that are like coming in to eventually join the convent.
Okay.
And like, become nuns in the future.
Love this for her.
Yeah. But soon, Mariana would meet a man that would turn her world upside down and also create a bit of a 16th, 17th century scandal.
Oh.
Or as the Italians would say, scandalo.
Ooh, not a scandalo.
So let me introduce you now to Giovanni Paolo Asio, or Gianpaolo.
Oh, I get it, girl. I already get it. I give up my Pokeball dreams for him.
So he is from a very wealthy family in Monza, and he moves into the house that is directly next to the monastery. He's hot.
Yeah, obviously his name is Gianpaolo or whatever.
He's rich. And he's also quite the bad boy. What more could you ask for?
Oh, man.
There were a lot of rumors around Monza that he was not only a womanizer, but he also possibly maybe had killed some people in his day.
God, that's so hot. Maybe.
Maybe.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So when Mariana sees him in the courtyard of the monastery one day, flirting with one of her students, she's like, oh, no, not today. So she goes up to him, she yells at him, and she's like, leave immediately. And then the girl that he was flirting with gets kicked out of the monastery because she was like not quite yet a nun. She hadn't taken her vows yet. She was like a student.
Yeah.
And she's like, you are not nun material.
Ooh.
And she like calls, or not, she doesn't call. She like writes to her mom or whatever. She writes on her with her quill.
Sends her messenger pigeon.
And she's like, your daughter is not nun material and you need to pick her up right now. And the mom comes and gets her. And Gianpaolo, he ends up leaving Monza for a year because he got accused of killing like one of fucking, I think it was her family's tax guys in order to like make more money or something. It was like a whole debacle.
Once again, I get it.
And he goes into hiding somewhere for like a year.
Are we doing like a real, I know we said no more using Wattpad as a source.
I didn't use Wattpad.
No, I know, because this sounds like fan fiction.
I swear it's not.
It's a real enemies to lovers trope.
I swear it's not. I
Unfold.
swear it's real, guys. I swear. I am telling it in girly pop terms.
No, I love it. It's incredible. I'm so locked in right now.
So after a year, he wants to come back to his house. And she kind of was like, no, you can't come back. Like she like told the people.
Who's she?
Sorry, Mariana.
Oh, okay.
She like, okay, so she's like really big in the community and she has like a lot of
Political sway.
Yes.
Okay.
So she like kind of told people, hey, he can't come back.
Yeah,
here.
he's exiled.
Yes.
Okay.
And then one of her friends, like one of her sisters was like, hey, you need to grow up, like you're a nun. And
Ever heard of forgiveness?
and giving some grace to some people.
It's in the Bible.
And
Maybe
you
you've
need
heard
to
of it.
do that. And then Mariana was like, oh, fine, whatever. You can come back in. So he comes back to his house and immediately he's like, I'm going to fuck that angry little nun if it's the last thing I do.
I'm telling you, this is like a
I swear it's not fake.
this is like a book talk. But this would go triple platinum on book talk.
I know. We can do something with this.
Wait, give me the rights. Nobody steal this idea. This was mine and Amanda's. She found the story.
Yes.
I'm going to write it.
Please. I'm going to play Mariana in the movie. So he's like, I'm going to fuck that little nun. I swear.
That angry little nun.
Yes. And he ends up convincing his friend, who is a priest at the monastery, Father Aragone, to help him write love letters to Mariana to get her to fall in love with him because he's like, I'm not really good at writing. You need to help me.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I'll help you.
Yeah, this is like when you get like your smarter girlfriend like to like text back to the guy you're crushing on.
You have done things like that.
Absolutely.
For me.
Yeah.
And even though the father's like, well, okay, nuns like aren't allowed to like fuck or get married, you know, like
This really goes against protocol.
This is really bad. He does it anyway, pretty much. But when Mariana reads the letter, she's like, ew, this guy's a murderer and like
allegedly
pretty gross. Like, I just don't like him. Like, he's a womanizer. But more and more letters start coming. Like, he just keeps on fucking sending them. He's knocking them out 1, 2, 3. And Mariana, as she's reading each letter, she starts to kind of like warm up to the idea a little bit. She's like, okay, maybe this guy's a little hot. I don't know. He's romantic. And soon she falls for him and they begin a love affair.
Okay.
Now, there is a surprising amount of people in the monastery that knew about this and also helped them like sneak around so they wouldn't get caught.
They had fans.
Yeah. So we have Father Aragone, who wrote the letters and also delivered them to Mariana. Then we have a blacksmith who helps Gianpaolo make copies of the keys so he can sneak in and out of Mariana's room.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
In the monastery.
Genius.
And then we also have Mariana's gal pals, her besties.
Well, yeah.
You got to have them.
Your gal pals better be supporting your love affair with the handsome murderer alleged murderer next door.
So Sister Benedetta and Ottavia, they also would help her hide their little love affair.
Okay.
But, you know, this is going on, and they're being romantic, and they're sneaking off together, and they're doing whatever they're doing. And Mariana starts to experience some, like, pretty serious guilt for what they're doing. It's that Catholic guilt, baby.
That's like a huge tenet of just really any religion.
Yeah.
You aren't feeling guilty, you aren't doing it right. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
So she ends up being so distraught about the affair. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm a bad nun. Like,
yeah, because they're boning, right?
Yes, of course they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's fucking hot and rich.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you know, if they aren't just like doing some sneaky little handholds or something.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe she's just touching it. I don't know. So, but she's
through
like,
the pants.
But she's like, I'm a bad nun. Like,
yeah.
I took vows and I'm not doing what I
feel
did.
like touching it through the pants is still bad nun behavior.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to make a movie, Bad Nuns.
Bad nuns.
Yeah, like bad moms.
But they're all nuns.
But for nuns.
And it's in the 1500s and they're fucking their hot neighbor, Gianpaolo.
Exactly.
I think this probably already exists, but you can only find it on .com.
Not Wattpad.
No. Well, no, probably there too.
Maybe.
Wattpad. It's porn for nerds.
True. So she, like I said, she's distraught and she ends up getting really sick for months because she literally can't even comprehend what she's been doing, that she just makes herself sick. And she tells Gianpaolo, we can't see each other anymore. Like, this is not right. I took a vow to God. Like, I can't do this. But Gianpaolo, he's like, I don't think so. Like, that's not happening. And he continues to send her letters and gifts, and he pretty much just like love bombs the fuck out of her.
Yeah.
So she's like, okay, I literally have to try everything in my power to not go back to this guy, because I have to just like do what I said I was going to do when I first came to the convent. Like, I have to do this. I can't go back to this guy.
Girl, don't make, how old is she now?
In her early 20s.
Don't make 23-year-old you suffer because your dad was a freak to 13-year-old you.
So this is a trigger warning.
Ooh.
I don't know why I'm even bothering, because I don't trigger warning you guys every time I tell you something gross, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay.
You have to hear it though.
Okay.
So in order to give herself the ick from Gianpaolo,
okay, what
and like literally be like, I need to figure out a way that I will not want to have sex with this man again.
Okay.
She eats his poop.
What the fuck? Why would that would only give you the ick for yourself. It wouldn't like give you the ick for him.
I don't know why she did it, but
how'd she even get access?
I don't know.
That seems like a laborious task.
I mean, you know, there's shitting in holes back then.
Yeah, so it could have been anybody's poop.
It could have been. But she
Girl,
does
get yourself together.
do that. She goes a little crazy. Okay,
it's okay to be horny.
Not according to God. It's not.
And this is why, once again, over at None Ya Business, you can still be horny if you need to be.
Can you still fuck?
sure, just don't bring him around the poke bowls. That's all we ask. Just don't bring him into the food court. You keep that outside.
Perfect. So no matter how much of his feces she consumed, she was
eating it multiple times.
Yeah, I think at one point someone said that she was like making tea with it. I don't know. That's none my business.
None your business. I'm ill. I'm so ill.
But she was still in love with him because he was that sexy.
Well, yeah, because he didn't make her eat the poop. Like, that would be a whole other thing. She's eating this willy-nilly.
She is.
Like, you being gross doesn't give you the ick. You have to make him wear sandals and like his feet are real pale or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to make him fall down while robbing a bank. That's how you get the ick.
Exactly.
You don't get the ick by just icking yourself out by being
like
gross.
You're being ick.
Yeah, you're the ick at this point. Like, did you tell him I got poop on my breath? Come kiss me, poop breath. That would give the ick. If he ate the poop, that's the ick.
Yeah, no, that's real.
You know what I mean? Forever unclean.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
So she also considered throwing herself into the well that was on the grounds of the convent.
If I ever ate poop, I would absolutely throw myself in a well.
Yeah, I would have just done that in the first place, though. But
I'm sickened.
To each their own.
I'm sickened.
But ultimately, she just can't stay away, and they get back together.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously. Poop, breath, and all.
Oh my God. Poop tea, poop breath. What am I doing here?
Sorry. Well, then she gets pregnant. And her best friends, they're like, okay, we're going to help you like hide your pregnancy from everybody because obviously you're going to get fucking kicked out of the convent.
Yeah.
That you can't be pregnant.
No.
As a nun.
No.
And 9 months later, unfortunately, she gives birth to a stillborn baby. But then she gets pregnant again and
oh my God.
gives birth to a healthy baby girl, Alma Francesca Margherita.
Okay.
So all the people that were like aware of the affair, they help sneak Alma out of the monastery after like fresh out the womb.
Okay.
And they bring her to Jean Paolo's house. And he ends up taking her in.
That baby should be doing somebody's makeup somewhere. What do you mean they're sneaking it around?
They are sneaking it. They need to bring her to her dad's house because she can't stay in the convent.
Yeah.
And he, by all accounts, ends up being a pretty good dad.
Okay.
So that's good. And of course, you know, they would sneak around all the time to make sure that Alma and Mariana could spend as much time together as possible. Mariana would often sneak out in the middle of the night and go sleep at Jean Paolo's house with him and the baby like they were a family.
Yeah.
But it was very sneaky. So everyone in Monza knew about Alma being Jean Paolo's daughter after some time. But no one obviously knew who the mom was. Like he would lie and say, oh, the mom is actually this lady. But
yeah,
people around town were all kind of like murmuring about it being Mariana.
Obviously,
like people knew, even though no one had like full proof evidence. So everything is all hunky-dory until 1606, when a young girl who had been forced to join the convent by her family, but obviously she didn't want to be there and she didn't want to become a nun. So she was like a little bit of a rapscallion. Mm-hmm. Her name was Caterina Cassini de Meda. She ends up getting in trouble with Mariana one day. Okay. So she soiled her bed. And that was like, I guess, a big no-no in the convent.
Peed the bed?
She peed the bed, yeah.
Okay.
And Mariana tries to punish her for peeing the bed.
Okay.
And this bitch turns around. She goes, if you try to punish me, I'm going to expose you and your baby daddy and all the fucking shit that you've been doing throughout the years.
Tea.
And Mariana is like, what? Excuse me?
Yeah.
And Katerina's like, yeah, you think I don't know? I fucking know.
Everybody knows, bitch.
Everyone knows.
You thought you're so sneaky.
And I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
And I'm going to fucking tell everyone.
Good for her.
And it just so happened that the Monsignor Pietro Barca was coming to town, like literally the next day. And they were so terrified. They were like, oh my God, what if Caterina exposes us to him, like when he's in town? Like this is going to be so bad.
It's like your boss, basically.
Yeah. So the night before he's set to arrive, Mariana, Benedetta, Ottavia, and then 2 other sisters, Sylvia and Candida, go to Caterina's room and they're like, hey, please don't tell anybody about the affair and the baby. Like, we really don't want you to do that. And Katerina's like, yeah, this is just making me want to tell more. So
yeah, same girl.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
And when Mariana goes and tells Gianpaolo this, he goes to Katerina's room.
And he kills her.
And he kills her.
Yeah. Saw that coming. He's got all the keys and everything.
He does.
Yeah.
And he's not a good guy.
Yeah.
He's not a good guy. So now Mariana and her friends, they're like, oh, crap.
Ruh-roh.
That's not what we were expecting to happen. So they have to try and hide this girl's body now. So they hide her in the chicken coop until Gianpaolo can sneak back over later that night and like dispose of the body properly.
God, these are the worst nuns ever.
They're pretty bad nuns.
Like, what's even the
bad nuns?
What's even the point?
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for
I just don't understand what's the point of like being a nun if you're just gonna be a horrible, awful person. Like, you're worse than just a normal ass sinner. You're like murdering teenagers and like eating poop and stuff.
Yeah, I think she was blinded by love.
No, I just mean like just leave then. Go live next door with your rich baby daddy.
That is kind of strange that she couldn't just leave.
I mean, she could have.
Yeah.
She's so afraid of getting kicked out. Like,
I know, just leave.
Just leave. Your
What are you doing?
baby daddy's rich.
It's
just
true.
go next door, brother.
And he clearly loves you.
Yeah.
So whatever.
He's willing to kill a teenage girl for you.
So now Mariana's friends, they're flipping out and they're like, oh my gosh. Or Mariana is like, oh my gosh, what if my friends, because there's like 4 of them now that have like seen this, what if they open their big mouths?
Yeah, because like murder is very different than an affair.
Yeah. And also, they didn't do the murder. Gianpaolo did the murder.
Yeah.
So that she's like, what if they try to like somehow pin this all on just us and whatever. So she tells her friends, hey, you see her? You see this dead girl? If you tell anyone about what happened, you're going to end up just like her.
God almighty.
Yeah.
You've lost the plot,
She's
Mariana.
getting real bad now.
You've lost the plot.
So that night, Gianpaolo, he sneaks back over, takes Katerina's body out of the chicken coop, and he dismembers her. He then takes her body pieces and he goes to his family's estate that's in like a nearby town. And he takes most of the pieces and he puts them in like the cellar of this estate. And then he throws her head into the well.
Ew. Okay.
Just by some chance, if they find her body, they won't be able to identify her without her head. But like,
don't people drink out of wells?
Probably.
Yeah.
But like, also, you could have just thrown her whole body into the well. Then why did you have to just throw her head?
Yeah.
You know, like if you don't want her to be found or whatever, just throw her whole body there.
Rivers around there? What?
No idea.
Okay.
So with Katerina having gone missing from the convent and the already circling rumors of this like secret love affair between this murderous man and a nun, more and more people around Monza are talking about Gianpaolo and Mariana. They're whispering, they're murmuring, they're gossiping.
And of course they would assume it was somehow connected.
And this made Gianpaolo very paranoid that someone was going to talk. Because like I said, there was a lot of people that knew about the affair.
So he's starting to close some loose ends here.
Mm-hmm. So first he finds this pharmacist that allegedly knew about Alma the baby because like obviously someone that had medicine needed to know when she was pregnant. His name was Raniero Rossino, and he tries to kill him by shooting him with a gun like from a pretty far distance, but he misses. So then he's like, okay, I got to move on from this because obviously like, I fucked that one up. Mm-hmm. And he moves on. He's like, I'm going to kill Father Aragone, the one who wrote the letters, because he knew about the affair from the beginning. But Mariana's like, no. Hold on. You cannot kill this priest. Mm-hmm. Like, please, for my sake, do not do it. And he's like, okay, fine. I won't kill this guy either, but he better not freaking talk.
He hasn't talked so far.
Not so far. But unfortunately for the blacksmith that had been helping him duplicate those keys to the convent, he was not quite as lucky, and Gianpaolo does kill him. So up until now, all of Gianpaolo's crimes, he has gotten away with scot-free, pretty much. Even though like people kind of knew, but he still got away with it. But all the rumors and all the gossip and everything combined had finally reached the governor of Milan's ears.
Okay. So now we're like, we're getting out of the small town politics.
Yeah, like everyone's fucking talking. You know what I mean? So during Carnival in 1607, Gian Paolo Asio is arrested and taken to prison. Immediately, Mariana starts to fucking panic. And she's like, oh my God, my baby daddy. Like, I can't, because now people are going to know that I have a baby, because what's going to happen to Alma?
I was just about to say, okay, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So she writes a letter to the governor saying that Gian Paolo did not do anything wrong, did not do anything illegal, and he would only visit the monastery for spiritual purposes. And he literally didn't do anything aside from that. And she even forced all of her friends that were accomplices to sign the letter to like help her out.
Yeah.
Her friends are fucking loyal for helping her, by the way. But while she's doing that, the Archbishop Federico Borromeo, he hears about the scandal. And he comes to the monastery and he says, Mariana, we got to put you on trial. Yeah. Because we've been hearing some shit. Yeah. And we know the tea. So they interrogated her. Then they interrogated and tortured Father Aragone.
Oh, poor guy.
Because they're like, we fucking know you know some shit.
Yeah.
And he eventually spills the beans and like everything is exposed. So Gian Paolo, he allegedly escaped prison and then he tried to murder Sister Ottavia by throwing her into a river.
So there was a river.
There was a river. You're right. But she actually survived long enough to confess everything, including the murder of Caterina, and told them where her body and head was. So they like found all that shit. But then Ottavia does eventually succumb to her injuries and dies. So she kind of had like a deathbed confession.
Yes, yeah.
He also tried to murder Sister Benedetta as well, who also confessed to everything after she had survived that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because fuck him. What's the point of keeping it secret? Just do whatever you can to get him locked up at that point.
Exactly. So Gian Paolo, he was on the run for some time until he was eventually murdered by one of his friends.
What goes around comes around, I suppose. Yeah.
As for Sister Virginia Maria, aka Mariana, she was sentenced to be walled in a room with no windows and no doors for 13 years in the home of Saint Valeria. She was released in 1622 and lived the rest of her days at the monastery, being the best nun she possibly could be until she passed away in 1650.
Damn.
And that is the story of the Nun of Monza and the scandal that rocked Milan in the 17th century.
You know what? Maybe being horny should be a sin. That's crazy. He shouldn't be that horny ever.
That was too horny.
That was too horny. You took it a little too far on the horniness.
Allegedly,
scales.
During her trial, she did try to say like, someone cursed me. Like someone put me under like a love curse. And that's why I did all those things.
Yeah, your hormones, because you were a 13-year-old when your dad did that to you.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, genuinely.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, what a fucking Real Housewives goddamn episode of drinking the Kool-Aid.
Literally. We took you on a twisty-turny wild ride over here.
Over the place, brother. Well, how about we finish this out with a listener story?
Absolutely.
All right, so this is from Jess R.
Hi, Jess.
And Jess says, the message is titled Dream Traps.
Ooh.
I have had really intense dreams for many years now. And by that, I mean nightmares. A lot of the time, I can realize that I'm in one of these and attempt to wake myself up. However, I just end up waking back up into another dream until I realize that I'm stuck in the cycle and it starts over again. Last night, I had one of these and it was absolutely relentless and involved me talking to my boyfriend. I told him that I knew that this was a dream, that we were in a dream together, and I was going to wake myself up, and he wasn't trying to fool me. His face then got really twisted, and he smiled and started laughing maniacally at me. This is a short and sweet version of probably one of the most fucked up dreams that I've ever had. I call them dream traps. And I thought that you might enjoy the terrifying experience as well. Love the show so much. You gals are great. Jess R.
So this happens often.
I get those all the time.
You do?
where like I figure out that I'm dreaming and I think I wake up and then it's in another dream. It happens to me like at least once a week.
Really?
Yeah, all the time.
And it feels real?
Yeah.
Oh.
And like in my dream, I'll be like, I wake up in my room, quote unquote, and then there's like something going on and I'm like, oh my gosh, how's this crazy thing going on? I'm in my room. I just woke up, and then I'll like realize again that I'm dreaming, and then I'll wake up again and I'll still be dreaming, but I'll have thought that I woke up. I'm always in my room.
Oh. I don't know if I've ever had a dream like that.
Yeah, and it's like I think there's someone like who just broke in, or like someone in the room, or like there's something weird going on with my fiance, like something like that. Yeah.
Oh, and I hate the idea of feeling trapped, and then you like turn to your partner, or your spouse or whatever for like comfort.
Yeah.
And then
they're part of it. They're in on it.
They look at you smiling. Ugh, hell no.
It's very Get Out, but dream version.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a story you would like to share with us, you can do that at dtkpod.com/contact. If you are a Patreon member, you can do that right on Patreon through the DMs, and you'll get a little boost up in the rankings.
That's right.
We love reading stories from you guys, so feel free to send them in, whether it's your uncle thought he saw Bigfoot, you had a weird dream, you knew you lived next door to a serial killer, whatever it is, send it on in. We'd love to hear it.
Please, literally anything.
Yeah. But thank you guys so much for listening. And we're so happy that we get to keep doing this podcast, and we only get to do it because of listeners like you. But most importantly, make sure you keep that front door locked.
Make sure you keep your mind open
And keep drinking the Kool-Aid.